spent out the money, and the output transformer was made by Gibson or somebody like that. I can't remember the actual manufacturer, but it wasn't your cheap and cheerful. It was good hi-fi quality stuff. So yes, they were very good books. And although I've still got the transistorized one, which is an early one because most of the devices in it are germanium rather than silicon, although I've still got that book, I seem to have lost the Mullard amplifier book on audio that was Valve. So, well, I won't be building anything like that anyway. Acquiring the bits is the great problem these days. Parmico and several other manufacturers used to do the output transformers, but it cost you an arm and a leg now to get transformers to the quality required. When it comes to Valve peripheral amplifiers, you start with the transformers, the output transformers, because if they're not good quality, you're wasting your time. Anyway, there you go. Push-pull stages in ultralinear. I remember it well. Anyway, let's stop waxing lyrical about audio, but at least I kept the sense about it. I didn't go down the sort of line that I had oxygen-free cables and what have you, HI. And because I'm also going back to the days going to talking about speakers, when you used to stand a concrete drain pipe up in the corner of your room, and you had a speaker unit in the top of that, and very good they sounded as well, because Anne's uncle had a pair of concrete drain pipes in his Mullard 510 amplifier, and that was the first time I'd heard hi-fi, and I immediately borrowed his book and went off and built myself a Mullard stereo 510 amplifier, and it all started from there. And I began to keep myself broke buying Foreign turntables and SME arms and Shure cartridges, which I've still got today. When I get broke, I'll put it on eBay. Anyway, round to you, Brian, and that amplifier you've got, Brian, sounds interesting. As I say, Brian, when you're feeling stuck for cash, just put that on eBay. You'd be quite surprised what that would make. I sold a Leak 510 amplifier with its preamp about 5, maybe 10 years ago. Only a 10-watt mono amplifier, couple of KT61s in it, made 450 quid. Back to you, GU4 LJC M1 PVC.
Well, I'm pretty sure that statement your audio was robot on the car last 9 days. The audio was just a whisper in the background, but I'm pretty sure it's you. The carrier is very, very strong. The audio turned up on the carrier or something. Well, put it down for 2 in a moment. Yeah, fine, Paul. Yeah. I couldn't even get to it now, Paul. I'll have to get one of the boxes figured out. There's too much to be moved. But it's heavy, that I can't do anymore because of the poor state of my back and neck. So there we are. Yes, well, I heard Martin say he had to go. In pretty much of a rush by the sound of it. So maybe they've asked him to go and meet President Trump off the plane, I don't know. Good and clear, yeah, no problem at all. and less, albeit was up and down a bit. I thought, man, that's cool, and he was definitely an S9. But if I had to give you a readability on the speech, you're probably a 2. So a 2 and 9, because your audio was being completely drowned by the carrier, or swamped. Wi-Fi unit I've got in the wireless bus is a big grabber. It's an FM tuner. It's got shortwaves on it and medium wave and long wave. You can make it automatically tune if you want on the XR band, multi-wave tuning, which works very well, although I haven't used it for a good while. The main supply in that, the transformer is ginormous. It really is ginormous. It's probably 7 inches by 7 inches. A big heavy lump of iron. And in the outputs to each channel, because it's stereo, it's got 4 EL84s in the outputs. It's got, I can't remember the lineup of Gordon, but I think there's at least 4, and then 2 of a P amplifier of all 12. It's just absolutely loaded with valves. I hope I've got a complete box full of brand new ones. Well, they were brand new many years ago. I bought this in a junk shop. I bought it full of speakers, actually, the 2 speaker cabinets, which I still use every day. They stand about 3 foot high and 2 foot wide and about a foot deep. And there's 2 12-inch woofers. 2 7-inch mid-range and 2 4-inch top range with triple crossovers in them, and that's absolutely wonderful, and that's what I bought them for next to nothing. Many years ago, long before I was licensed as a band. Well, we're back. I'll put it to Dave. I think I'll make this my final because my throat is killing me, and it's not doing it any good talking. Q4L18, and if you could put it to Andy, B4L18.
Dave, you're readable here. I wasn't actually looking at the meter, but you're Q5, but not too loud. Goes to Andy. G40JY, M1PVC.
Yeah, 1PVC. G40JY, you're a player to 1 to Dave. Well, you're about 4 and 5. Brian, a little stronger last time, so I could get most of you over there. And Paul and full batteries, one single. And just looking all the audio stuff there, Paul, it makes me laugh when I look on the internet at some of the audio pool wires in England that's obviously been in trouble with training standards for his outlandish claims. And when people are saying 1,000 pounds for my EC mains, it's just a license to take money off imbeciles, really. But I guess if they believe all this rubbish about 40 years, then people change more than, more fool them, really. But it's not really. The only problem is it drives prices up for the rest of us, particularly a lot of valves. I managed to get a new valve for the BT375, the audio input, but even that small audio triumph becomes very popular with the audio tools. They're fetching silly prices now, which is a bit of a shame. I'll try and do a bit more with that this morning before I go to work, trying to get the heat chain to work properly this time. Keep getting it round. I guess it's on to, must be on to Les now, 2E0IBNG for OJY.
Yeah, you've gone way down with me, Les. Just before you take your over, let's check if Martin's there. G3YJO, M1PVC. No, looks as though Martin may really have had to go. It is your over, Les. Take it away. I assume you've changed rigs there, and you're on the Barrett, because I can only see one sideband, but there's not too much mod there, Les. You're going to need to shout that one up. Back to you.
Right, let's swap back over to the Bendix, which is watching a Tour of France on Eurosport, because it's also going through my son's village out in France. Right, so I'll say some. Dave, you were about 4 and 6 here at Gatwick. I'm not too sure where it goes to now, because I think Brian's signed. Martin is not there. I hope it's probably back to you, Paul. M1PVC, over.
G3YJO back.
Yeah, okay, Martin, taken over, and then hand it to me. 7-3 to you, Les. 7-3 to you, Brian. G3YJO, M1PVC.
M1PVC, G3YJO. Right, and I think it's a little bit down on frequency, so I shall just nudge it up. Oh, that's probably a little bit better. Anyway, right, apologies for that. We have some folk coming to do some work on our little terrace. I needed to make sure they knew where to start and everything, so hopefully that will also doing that, which will be nice. And we'll see. Anyway, Paul, sorry about casting aspersions. You might not have heard of Lindsley Hood, of course. I knew you would have done. And the amplifier that I made was the so-called 100 watt DC coupled amplifier using 305.5s. And the one thing I didn't realise, of course, is that with 100 watts and reasonably efficient speakers, you have to worry about signal to noise, because even the sort of residual noise, if it goes down quite a few dBs from 100 watts, is still quite audible, and that was one of the issues I struggled with alongside the Canons when the light switches went off. Yeah, it was anyway. I looked as always these projects, and big shop this morning. I double checked all the coordinates yesterday, and I think I printed it out on A4 transparencies and lined them up and stuck them together with magic tape and laid it over, and I think it's about as good as it's going to get. So I'm going to bite the bullet and take the panels over this morning if the shop is ready, and see how it goes. So hopefully we'll be able to report back tomorrow on what that looks like. So M1PVC, G3YJO on the 62 slope.
G3YJO, M1PVC. on the Bendix TA12C. I did wonder how many Bendixes we might get on today. I thought we might attract Andy on his and also Ian on his, but well, we'll leave that for another day, because I think actually with your signal, Andy, the ART13 was a good choice. Obviously signals aren't quite as good today as they've been on the last couple of days, but anyway, I'll put it round to Dave in a moment, who's joined us. And yeah, apologies, Dave. As I say, I haven't got a signal report from you other than it was Q5. I was just panic-stricken that I might not have Martin's address, but I found it on the machine, so no problem. I'll get your voltage regulators in the post, Martin. And as I say, I've got more 15 volt ones than 12 volts, so if 15 volts any good to you, I can put a couple of those in as well. So no problem, just let me know. But I have more 5 volt regulators than you can shake a stick at, because they were the common ones. 5 volt and plus and minus 15 are the most common, because a lot of the TTL logic circuits use both op amps and the TTL itself. TTL needed 5 and the op amps will normally run at plus and minus 15, so that's why they flood on the market. Anyway, I'll get those off to you today, and I've got some screws for Tony, so I think we're going near a post office. That's the theory anyway. So as I say, we'll get those off. Right, let's keep it going round. I think it goes to Dave now and then Andy. G8YFH, M1PVC.
M1PVC, and it is G8YFH, it's really good, man. So this is the original Canadian 1910. The other one was the primary funny noises. So turn that one off. I'm watching this very carefully at the moment. Got plenty of drive. So the other one, I was giving out loads of power, but it was creating quite a noise on the power supply. So I'm going to have to look into that. Maybe I'm drawing too much current. I don't know. It sounded like frying noise from the transformer. But I don't think it's actually frying. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on it. This one's holding up at the moment. This one is dropped, according to the meter, 75 watts. I think if anything it's got some... It's not too bad, it's well within the limits anyway. But thanks for letting me know. What we say too, I'll be playing Cynic Hogs for a few minutes on a different band. But yeah, we'll have to really look into it. Run the channel on the front, you can tell by the audio, and running the original 1910, so that's what we again mean, that's not too bad. Right, round to Andy, yes, there's BCRLiveStream. I don't know that one. I also have to run the wrong one.
Yeah, G8YFH and G4OJY. Yes, okay there, Dave. Yeah, well, bit variable on the signal that time, but you started out audible and then you did down some noise, then you're about 5 and 5 at the end, so I understand you've gone to up to the 19th. Quite a good job over there, and I think Martin's back as well now, so I'll catch up with you in a moment. I think Leslie and Brian have gone now, so it's a great deal to report making a live well, so I'll go to work today, so this dynamo. G3Y German Boot G4OJY.
G4OJY, G3Y German pause, but take us good morning to Dave. 5 from 5 this morning on the 19 set, so sounding pretty good. And Andy, well, unfortunately, I'm going to be overseas on that day again, which is a bit annoying because I would have rather liked to have come to the auction. But I'm not quite sure who's likely to be going. I'll check. I should have asked Martin or Robin. I didn't think all of them were likely to be there. I'll check and see because they're quite local, so that would be the best bet. But I will check and see. I don't know, Paul, whether you remember whether one or other of them was, or both indeed, were planning on attending the auction. I suspect Martin might. I'm not sure about Robin. But once again, Andy, thanks very much indeed for picking that up. That was really a great help. And Paul, regulators. Well, yeah, the 15 plus minus 15 volt ones might also be useful because I possibly might use those for the op amps in the 107 circuit. So if you have enough to spare a couple of those, then that would be helpful. And again, also much appreciated. It was good to see the photo of our evening do yesterday that Robin posted as well. That was good fun. Right, let me see what else I've mentioned here. I think that's about it. I'm sort of keeping half an eye open on the builders, so if I don't come back when called, it'll just be that I'm nipped outside. And I think it's also time to put on some elixir as well. Nothing else much to report, just having a quick look around. Just going to check and see all the potential water is ready for screening. In this case, I'll drive over once the traffic abates a little bit. About 25 to 30 minutes depending on traffic, so reasonably convenient. It'll be interesting to see how this works out. So, without further ado, it's on to you, Paul, M1PVC, G3YJO.
G3YJO, M1PVC, yes, okay, Martin. Well, I hope that works out well. Funny enough, I was watching a program last night to avoid watching the football, and it was on Harley Davidson's, and there was a guy merrily putting the graphics on one of the, well, it wasn't actually a petrol tank in this particular case, it was a cover that goes over the engine, but those uninitiated would say it's a petrol tank because that's what it looked like, and there he was using a silk screen. So, yes, it's not a process that I've ever tried or ever seen done before, but it's pretty obvious watching the video of this guy applying these graphics on the tank, just how it worked, and it seems to work very well. So hopefully your front panel will do the same. Anyway, there you go. Yes, I'll have a look at the regulators. I'm sure we can accommodate you on there, no problem. Yeah, I love that photograph. Unfortunately, it put me in my usual occupation with my nose in a glass of beer, but they really did sell an excellent pint of Abbott's there, and well, there you go. I didn't even know the photograph was being taken, as indeed neither did Anne, but obviously some of you did because you were looking at the camera. I didn't manage to catch whether Martin was going. He normally does, so that's the obvious guy to try. The only impediment you might have to that is I might be tempted to go to the Kempton Park motorcycle jumble, but I think the auction will probably take precedence with him. I suppose it depends if he's seen something that he wants, but he would normally go along anyway. Every auction I've been to, he's been there, so that's the obvious candidate to try first. there, Martin, and he's local enough that that shouldn't give you any problems at all. The one thing that Anne said, and it is so true, is you never see Martin without a smile on his face, and that really shows up in that photograph. So, you know, I wish a few more people in this world were that happy. There's a lot of miserable perishers that I see every day, and it depresses me. Right, round to you, Dave. Diving at 509, so absolutely storming in here. That tannoy microphone, mate, Wyatt H, M1PVC.
M1PVC, we can't frequency. Yeah, I can hear the noise from this power supply. It's holding, that's the main thing, and it's fine. The audio on this seems to be going backwards for some unknown reason. We'll find out why, but I use every day. And it looks like the somewhere around the 807 back up and running. Okay, weather report. I'm not sure which Martin you're on about. I don't know if it's the one down at Whitehill or if it's the other mountain. But as you say, there are a lot of miserable spots down there. And at least I'm not one of them. So goes into transmit when you don't want it to. So that's what I'm looking for. Other thing, like the one for the Canadian, I still can't get that mic to work. What I'm going to try, I'm going to put high voltage up the line, one-sided, and probably wander across it, see if there's a break in the cable somewhere. That could be the trouble. If it is, we'll on the power, cut the cable, rejoin it, and use the boom race to slide over to cover where I'm cutting. So that's the plan anyway. Right.
G4OJY, G3YJ, yeah, fine, Andy. Well, I'll let you know, and I'm sure we'll work something out. But so it is just unfortunate for yet to know of the Oceans Falls on a date when I'm travelling, and it would have been rather convenient and also nice to meet up with folk. Good morning to Dave. Sorry, I didn't give you a report last time round, Dave, but you're peaking strength 7 but dipping down towards the noise on that last over. The previous over you were a pretty good strength 6 throughout on the 19 set. certainly sounding good. And Paul all noted about the screen printing, and well, it'll be interesting to see how it goes. I mean, the difficulty is that there are a few sort of raised lips and humps and bumps on the thing. And also the registration needs to be pretty good, because obviously otherwise the pointers are not going to be in the right place. So I spent another hour or two last night double checking the measurements as best I could and trying to line it up in the right places, so hopefully it'll be okay. Anyway, we'll see. And I've used up an inordinate number of transparencies on my printer. Fortunately, when I went to the office and I said, well, has anybody got any overhead transparencies, because I want to use those for printing, they looked at me and said, well, yeah, those went out with the ARC. Nobody had them. So I then thought, well, I'll give the university a buzz. So I gave them a buzz and they said, well, we don't use them anymore, but we've got a whole cupboard load of boxes of them, you know, thousands of them. So they gave me a box of 100, and I've probably used 30 of them or something on the to try to check the alignment. But unfortunately, doing it on the printer itself is not that precise, because it's a domestic laser printer. So I think by the time it all gets done, the errors in the printing and the transparency paper feed, if you see what I mean that within a millimetre or so it's not that reproducible. So we'll have to see. Anyway, I'll waiting to get the go ahead from the guy this morning, and then I'll pop over and see. So there we go. Thanks again for the regulators. That'd be a great help. And yeah, that's about it. So I think it's elixir time. So over to you, Paul. I'll be when I'm here, I'll be listening on 60 metres. I gave out a few calls yesterday, but didn't hear anything. So if anybody is going to be around on 60 metres later today, then we'll see if we can get that alive as well. Conditions do seem to be down a bit this morning, so I'm not sure. I think there was some talk of a solar flare of some activity, but I haven't really paid much attention to it. M1 PVC, G3Y Joe.
G3SUY.
G3SUY. That's Peter, isn't it? Long time no hear, Peter. Take over, Peter, and hand it back to me, M1 PVC.
Well, thank you, Paul. I've got some more on board. M1 PVC and the group there, G3SUY. I just heard you all on, and I thought I'd better say hello. Although I think, as the last station was saying, the conditions are not that good, getting worse by the second. Anyway, I just thought I'd say hello. Thanks very much for having me. I haven't been on this frequency for quite some time, I must admit. And I wouldn't know I listen on 60 later, so I'll keep a red eye open. But it's a very, probably is noise. But there you go, I've got very special music these days. Using the old 1154 as normal with the linear, so only 100 watts. So anyway, back to you. I won't be keeping you on, and hope everybody else is fine. And we'll hello this anyway, because it's all well done about M1 PVC in the group, G3SUY.
G3SUY, M1 PVC. Well, good to hear from you, Peter. No bother about your signal. You're 20 over from Essex there, so very good indeed. And yeah, that 1154 sounds like no other 1154. So it's doing a grand job, Peter. And yes, I haven't heard from you for a while, but glad that you're okay. I'm fine. It's the rest of the world that's mad. That's what I tell everybody. So, as I say, Peter, don't leave it too long. Whenever you can, join us. The band is altering now. Andy in Durham, G4 OJY. 7-3 to you, Andy, but virtually lost you on that last over. So you've got time to quit, as they say. Dave down in Alton is a good signal with me. G8YFH, and because Martin is always a good signal with me on the 62 set with the amplifier. That's doing very well for you, Martin. And yes, okay with the screen printing and the lips, etc. Well, I hope it all goes well. That transparency film, I usually get it from some of the big stationery houses, and I must check, because that would be a catastrophe if they do take that off the market for people like me that make printed circuit boards, because I always make the photographic masks with the transparency, and well, when you make mistakes, as you say, you go through quite a few sheets of it. So, although I do buy it in boxes of 100, it nevertheless doesn't last that long. Plus the fact that I'm using it for panels now, and one goes through a laser printer, but a laser colour printer uses again a different transparency film. So I've got one for a black and white laser and one for a colour laser, and I haven't ever risked putting anything other than colour laser film through the colour laser for obvious reasons. If it all melts over the drum, then that's a big expense, but there you go. So it would be a sad day if that disappears off the market, but hopefully it doesn't. I think there are a lot of hobbyists that use it for the original purpose of overhead projectors. PowerPoint's got a lot to answer for, hasn't it? PowerPoint and projectors. Anyway. Yep, it's keeping going around. I think the paper's coming back around. I'll certainly look at the regulators for you, Martin, no problem there. And I'm sure there's something else we were talking about, but it's totally gone, so it might come back to me. Oh, Dave, you asked which Martin I was talking about. Well, it doesn't matter, because both Martins, MGA and YJO, are smiley chappies, and that's the way I like people to be. So, let me see, where does it go? Goes round to you, Dave. G8YFH, M1PVC. So Dave's been called away, so it's just me and me, Martin. YJO, M1PVC.
M1PVC, G3YJO. Yeah, fine, Paul. Well, I say Dave was a reasonable signal on the last over, but I didn't hear anything then, so I suspect, as you say, he's been called away to his carrying duties. And yeah, you're right about M0MGA Martin. He's a very cheerful chap, and always a pleasure to meet. And also very helpful as well, of course. As is everybody I found in VMARS. I mean, I think the wonderful thing about the society is the preparedness of everybody to help everybody else out, and I think that's a very nice thing in this day and age. And it's not that it doesn't happen anywhere, but it's not perhaps as prevalent as it used to be. And VMARS, I think, is exemplary in that regard. It really is a very helpful bunch of folk, and very knowledgeable as well. And so there's a few things that you can't find some help with. So with that, I think having had an email from the printer Waller this morning, so hopefully he's usually he works at amazing hours. He's always getting emails from him at 7 in the morning when I was sort of checking things, and quite late in the evenings. So hard-working sort of chap. So I guess he's having a look at the stuff and seeing if he can print it out. Not quite sure what his plans are, but because he asked me to do it in a tiled format, but when I sent him the tiled thing, he said, "Oh no, I think I'll do it myself." So he's presumably going to give that a go. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see. And yeah, I'll see if he's happy with it. I might take a few photos of the process, so I can share that with other people. He's, I think, in order to do two colours, unfortunately there's one, it's all in black, sorry, it's all in white, of course, lettering, but there's a red label on the power switch and a little warning label not to stick your fingers into the bare pins on the muting system, because that carries full HT, which you can get quite a whack off, and that's in red, so I have to just have to do two things. So he has to do two colours, which means that it probably works out at about £20 a panel, which is not cheap, but if he does a good job, then it's probably worth it. Right, I think I need to go. The builder needs some assistance, so I'll sign. Wish everybody a very good morning, any listeners, and again, thanks to you, Paul, for your help. M1 PVC, G3YJ signing, but just listening for a few minutes.
G3YJ, M1 PVC, back to funnel. Yep, okay, Martin. Well, as I say, I hope that goes well for you. And, well, we'll catch you further down the log. Pleasure to talk to all you guys this morning. And hope you have a great day. I think we're off to that Japanese eating emporium, I've been told. So my day's panic. I was going to say, well, I don't know, but there you go. Anyway, keeps one but happy, that's the thing. So have a great day. M1 PVC, wishing you 7320 shortwave listeners. Briefly listening, but if not called, going QRT.
Yeah, G3YJO, G3SU9. Just got to say, quite a good signal here, Martin. With a lot of USB over in Johnson. All the best, G3SU9.